In this video, we're looking at graphing inequalities on a number line. So an inequality is a mathematical statement that two quantities are not equal, involving algebraic expressions and an inequality sign, which you can see there. Alright, so and again, an inequality just looks like a normal equation, except instead of having the equal sign, we replace it with an inequality sign. So on your screen, you can see 2x plus 2 equals 6. That is an equation. There's only one value of x that makes it true. 2x plus 2 is less than or equal to 6 is an inequality. There is a range of values that make that true. So on your screen, you can see now the different inequality symbols. So we have the L shape, which means less than. So that's how I tend to try to remember it. I hold up the arrow in my left hand, and then if I turn it on its side, it looks like an L, so I know it means less than. There are other ways of remembering this. I recommend Googling these and trying to find all the different ways, and then pick one that works for you. But for me, it's hold up my left hand, point the arrow in that way. If I can turn it on its side and it makes an L, I know that's less than. If the arrow points to the right, it's greater than. If the arrows have a line underneath it, that means or equal to. Now when we're graphing these, if it doesn't have a line underneath it, we use a hollow circle. And if it does, we have a solid circle. So I'm going to go through and show you these in examples later on, but it's good to understand that now. So when we have that x is less than or equal to 3, we read it as, well, x is less than or equal to 3, and it includes values below and including 3. Now, if we only had x is less than 3, it only includes values below 3, but not 3. All right, it's important to note that. So on here, we're going to graph some inequalities. So the first one we have here is x is less than, because remember, this is less than or equal to. Alright, now I like to start with the number there. If I've just got a blank line and I don't have any numbers there, I like to put the number that we're given in the middle. So that's 1. I then can start writing things to the left and right of that. Like that. Now, because I did that, I know I need to draw my circle above the number that we had. Now, it is less than or equal to, so that means I have a solid dot. Like that, and then the arrow goes in the direction the arrow is pointing. So because the arrow is pointing to the left, I know I've got a line going to the left, like that. Now another way to remember it is, just read it out. So x is less than or equal to 1. So obviously 0 is less than or equal to 1, -1 is less than or equal to 1, -2, so that just reinforces that the arrow does go that direction. So let's do the next one. I'm going to start by writing 7 in the middle. 8, 9, 10. We have 6, 5, 4. Now again, I'm going to write out what this means. So it doesn't have a line underneath it, so it's only a less than or a greater than. Now, because it doesn't look like an L when I hold it up in my hand, it's actually pointing to the other way. I know that's greater than. Now, another way to remember it is think of it like a crocodile. If you've got this, the crocodile always eats the bigger number. So here's some teeth. So because the crocodile's mouth is facing the x, it's eating the x, so x is bigger than 7, or x is greater than 7. Okay, that's another way to remember it. Now, because it doesn't have a line, we've got a hollow dot. And because the arrow is pointing to the right, I can draw my arrow going that way. Check if it makes sense. Is 8 is greater than 7? Yes. 9 is greater than 7? Yes. 10 is greater than 7? Yes. So that just reinforces that we're correct there. Alright, so here, write the inequality represented on each number line. I know we're going to have an x. The next thing we need to check for is what number is our circle on? It's on 1, so I can write that there. Which way is the arrow pointing? It's pointing to the left, so I can draw it like that, pointing that way. And then I also know that it's a solid dot, so I need my line there. Okay? Alright, we'll look at our next one. We start by writing our x down, We then look for where the number is, the circle, so it's above -2. Which way is my arrow pointing? Well, it's pointing to the right, so my arrow goes to the right. Now, the dot is hollow, which means it's just greater than, there's no equal to. So this is my final answer. X is greater than -2. So to end the video, we'll do a quick recap. Remember, an inequality looks like an equation, except instead of having the equal sign, you've got your inequality symbols. Now remember, an equation has that equal, so 2x plus 2 equals 6. It has one solution, whereas an inequality has a range of values that can make it true. On your screen, you can also see the different inequality symbols and what they mean. Remember, when you're dealing with is less than or is greater than, you're using a hollow dot when using it on a number line, when you're graphing on a number line. Whereas if you have or equal to, your dot should be solid.